Hey guys, today we are looking at two very popular jackets that are great for being active in cold weather because they are breathable. The first being the Arcteryx Atom LT versus the Patagonia Nano Air. That's next. Welcome to Backcountry Renegade. I'm Jeff. Today we are looking at two very comfortable jackets that are great for active layers since they're pretty breathable. The Patagonia Nano Air has been the staple for a long time because it has great flexibility and it's also very soft while being breathable. Now it's also good to be used as a layer underneath a shell. But we also have the Atom LT. Now the Atom LT is by Arcteryx and it's been around for a while as well. Now, how they become breathable is because they have these Polartec side panels that allow air to come out. Well, they have a little bit more insulation on the front and back. So both these jackets are pretty cool to compare and contrast, but let's do so and see which one might be the best jacket for you. The Nano Air has been a long-time standard for active layers from Patagonia. It comes in multiple sizes and colors. You can get it in a hoodless version or the hood version that you see here. It does come in a slim fit and has a very high air permeable liner for excellent breathability. It sells for $299, but you can often find it on sale. It's made of some recycled material, so it's kind of environmentally friendly. This is a great synthetic insulation layer that can also be used as a mid layer. Now the Atom LT has been a staple for Arcteryx for lightweight insulated jacket for years. It was actually released before the Nano Air and has gone through a few alterations over the years. It retails for $259, but you can often find it on sale. It also comes in multiple sizes and colors. You can get it in the hoodless version or the hood version as you see here. It has gone through a few revisions over the years, but this is the latest 2020 version. It can be used as a mid-layer or a standalone jacket for alpine activities. And it's considered an all-round type jacket, so you can use it for tons of different uses. It is able to retain warmth while also being pretty breathable due to the side fleece panels. Looking at these two jackets, we do find a lot of similarities. These can either be a standalone jacket in cool weather or can be active mid layers in cold weather. Both these jackets are lightweight and made of synthetic insulation, so they can keep you warm even when wet. Both these jackets are very breathable and they can let out hot air while you are active. Now let's look more in detail at some of the differences in each. Now first, the Nano Air is made of 100% polyester shell that is made of 87% of recycled material. This fabric actually has a really excellent mechanical four-way stretch and it is very soft and smooth to the feel. It is coated with a DWR finish and it's super lightweight, durable, and water repellent. The Atom LT uses an Arcteryx specialized fabric called Toino 20 denier. It does a good job of blocking some wind while also being a bit breathable. It is also very soft, but the main breathability actually comes from the side panels, as we will discuss here in a bit. The outer shell is also coated with a DWR finish to provide some nice water repellency. The fabric is not as stretchy though compared to the Nano Air. So out of the two, the Nano Air is going to feel a bit more stretchier and softer than the Atom LT. Let's talk about insulation. The Nano Air has a 60-gram full-range polyester thermal-light insulation, which is made up of 40% of recycled materials. It warms and it stretches. It has full range, which provides space for some warmth, but also being stretchy and breathable. So as a result though, it doesn't block out wind as well. Even though it is very, very breathable, it can trap the right amount of heat for you to keep you warm. The Atom LT uses 60 grams of Arcteryx Corloft compact synthetic insulation, which covers the front, the arms, and the back, and the hood. This insulation is compact, so it's less bulky than its predecessor while still being sufficiently warm. This allows it to be a nice compact thin layer to be used as a mid layer. The side fleece panels here are made of Polartec and are also stretchy as well. The weight of the Nano Air is 346 grams or 12.2 ounces, where the weight of the Atom LT is 375 grams or 13.2 ounces. Let's talk about breathability. The Nano Air is very breathable. It's one of the all-round jackets for excellent high output activities. This is really what this jacket is known for. It is said to have 40 CFM breathability, so you're rarely ever going to overheat with this jacket. They made this jacket so you can put it on and not have to worry about removing additional layers as you become more active. So this is a layer that you can wear throughout your aerobic activities. Now the Atom LT is breathable mainly through the side panels. This is an older style jacket, and so it's a little bit different technology that you see here. Now these panels, which go all the way under the arms as well, can really help circulate air and keep you a lot less sweaty, especially when you're physically active. These are updated side panels, which have a little bit more elastic stretch in them than previous versions, to allow it to be a little bit closer to the body and less baggy. They also use this dope dyed 20 denier liner inside, which is more environmentally friendly, but also more air permeable than previous versions. It also feels really soft next to the skin. If breathability is one of the most important things to you here, there's no question the Nano Air wins hands down for the breathability category. Now let's talk about warmth. The Nano Air is really not known for being especially warm, especially if you're just sitting still. This is meant to be an active layer, means you are actively moving. So the breathability is really its strength, and it releases a lot of warm air. For this to be warm, you need to use it as a mid layer underneath a shell so the shell can block out the wind. Now the Atom LT, if you're using this as more of a standalone jacket, the slide face panels can become a little bit of a disadvantage because when it's windy and cold outside, it lets in cold air through those panels. However, because the front and the back of the jacket are not as breathable compared to the Nano Air, the Atom LT is going to be your warmer jacket, especially if you're just standing still. So out of the two, the Atom LT is warmer. Now let's talk about the zipper. The Nano Air uses a front zipper that is relatively a traditional zipper. You do have this little cord here to help you lower and raise the zipper as it goes. But let's say if you get some tension on the sides from a harness or something, it doesn't break away, so it's going to stay still. So just something to keep in mind. Also behind the zipper, you do not have any kind of backing, and that's in an effort to allow it to be extra breathable even through the zipper. Now comparing that to the Atom LT, the zipper here for the Atom LT is what we call a free-flowing zipper. So below the sternum, it is actually free-flowing, which means you can pull it and it just gradually falls apart. You may think that is not very helpful, but this is actually designed for a specific reason. And if you are climbing, you're wearing a harness, and you develop some tension on the jacket, rather than the zipper being broken apart, it allows it to gradually free fall. And this way, your jacket is going to be more protected. Now at the top, you might feel that it feels a little bit rougher when you zip it up and zip it down. And this is by design. These are called pit stops, and they actually act as like speed bumps. So if you want to wear your zipper a little bit higher and not let it free flow down, you actually have these speed bumps. And when your jacket does that, you have these speed bumps that enable you to let it catch a little bit so it's not going to just fall down. Now once it gets below the sternum, you don't have those speed bumps anymore, and so it can naturally flow open. But this is by design. It's not a defect in the zipper, as some people have said. Also behind the zipper, you do have this little wind flap to block out any wind drafts from coming in through the zipper. Now let's talk about pockets. The Nano Air has two side pockets, and the two side pockets are relatively nice. They are a little bit higher than your traditional jacket, and that's also by design because you can wear a harness and it's not going to interfere as much with the pockets here. The Atom LT also has two side pockets, but you can see these pockets are actually a bit higher than the Nano Air. So these actually completely clear any kind of harness that you might be wearing, so you have full access to these pockets. The pockets on the Atom LT are also fleece lined, which are very soft and helps provide some extra warmth when you put your hands in your pockets. Now let's talk about chest pockets. The Nano Air actually has a zippered front chest pocket here on the left side. Now this actually also functions as a stuff sack for your jacket, so it can compress down into this pocket, which is a nice little feature. Now, if you look at the Atom LT, you do not have a pocket here on the front. Instead, what you have is you have a zippered pocket on the inside. And so another little feature here, the zippered pocket on the inside. The difference though is the Atom LT is not going to compress into this pocket. Let's talk about the handcuffs. So the Nano Air features these sleek, snag-resistant cuffs with elastic on the inside of the hand. So pretty nice. You can roll up your sleeves as well as you're doing it, and it provides a little bit of stretch. Now compare that to the Atom LT. The Atom LT actually features this Arcteryx 4-way stretch cuff, which is really comfortable and soft, and does a great job of keeping the cold air out. Now, this is stretchy enough also to go over a glove. So compared to the cuffs, I really like the Arcteryx 4-way stretch cuff. Let's look at the hoods here. So you can see the hood for the Atom LT is slightly bigger than you see on the Nano Air. Now the Nano Air has what we call a scuba hood. It's very elastic throughout in the front here to give some structure, also to make it easier to put on and put off. This hood is meant to actually be an under the helmet hood, so it is relatively smaller as a result than the Arcteryx Atom LT hood. So this goes under the helmet, but let's say you're not wearing it under the helmet. Let's say you're using it walking around town. This does look a bit awkward. It is really tight around your head, and it does look kind of awkward there. It's nice, but it's not very bulky as a result, so it does save you some weight. But if you're just using it around town, you're not using it underneath the helmet, it could look a little bit awkward. Compare that to the Atom LT. The Atom LT hood is really nice, and it also features some elastic and some extra durability here at the top to provide some extra structure. Now you do have a cinch cord here in the back of the hood where you do not have that for the Nano Air. So if you want to compress your hood down, you can do so. The hood for the Atom LT is actually a hood that goes over the helmet. So you can do it over the helmet, but if you're not wearing a helmet, it can be a little bit bulky, and so you do have the cinch cord to bring it down a bit. I do like the Atom LT's hood much better than the Nano Air because you get the extra flexibility. Plus, if you're just using it around town, this definitely looks a lot more stylish if you're wearing the hood than the Nano Air. Out of the two, I do prefer the Atom LT hood in comparison. Now let's talk about compression. Now, compression-wise, you're definitely gonna win with the Nano Air. And as you can see, the Nano Air can actually stuff into its inner chest pocket. So the Nano Air can actually compress into that left chest pocket, and it does have a nice zipper pull on the outside as well. So if compressibility is a big deal, the Nano Air is gonna win. Now you can compress the Atom LT as well, but it's not gonna compress down into the pocket and nowhere near compared to the Nano Air. So you are getting a little bit bulkier of a jacket by going with the Atom LT. So something to consider. Now let's talk about the fit. Both these jackets are relatively slim fit or trim fit. The Nano Air is going to be slightly slimmer because of the stretch in the fabric and the insulation. It can be closer to the body without restricting any movement because of the stretch. So it feels great. You can feel the stretch moving as you move, and it's very comfortable. Now the Atom LT also has an excellent trim fit. It is slimmer than the previous versions, which is nice, but it is going to be a little less stretchy. Now the fit is still exceptionally good. It's an Arcteryx, which is known for their fit. So it's not constricting in areas, it's just right, but the fabric is not as stretchy as the Nano Air. So something just to be in mind, that if you're looking for something extra stretchy, the Nano Air is going to be more stretchy. Now, another thing that the Nano Air does not have is down here underneath at the brim of the bottom of the jacket, they actually went with elastic here. And the elastic is an effort to save weight by taking out any kind of cinch cords. So the Atom LT actually has two cinch cords on the back of the jackets on the bottom, so you can cinch down the bottom and close out any air spots so cold air doesn't get in. Well, the Nano Air, in an effort to save weight, does not have the cinch cords. Instead, they have elastic. And this way it closes the jacket and it does a sufficient job, not as good as a cinch cord, but this again is an effort to save weight. The Atom LT in the previous version only had one area of the cinch cord. Now it has 2 cinch pulls in the updated version. Another thing just to mention is the patch of the Patagonia logo is sewn in on the jacket, and on the Atom LT, the Arcteryx logo here is actually stitched in. So the previous versions of the Atom LT, they had it actually printed and it wasn't as good. I think this way, when it's embroidered in, does provide a little bit more value and brings out the high quality feel with it. So concluding thoughts, who won the jacket battle for me? Was it the Arcteryx Atom LT or the Patagonia Nano Air? You know, if I had to compare these two and pick a choice, I would go with the Patagonia Nano Air. And the reason is because the pros for the Nano Air outweighed the cons that it had compared to the Atom LT. Now the first pro, obviously, for the Nano Air is going to be the weight. The Nano Air is a lot lighter than the Atom LT, and so because of that you can also compress it. So if weight is something that you're looking to consider for an active layer, let's say you're going skiing and you want to pack it in your load, or backpacking, and you need a layer that is synthetic that can also pack down, the Nano Air is a great option. It's very breathable. It's not going to be typically your standalone jacket because you're going to use it as a layer. So it is something you're going to want to pack and compress, and because it's lightweight and compressible, much more compressible than the Atom LT, that is one pro for me. Another pro for me is the breathability. Now the breathability is much better with the Nano Air compared to the Atom LT. The Atom LT, the breathability only happens through those Polartec side panels. Well, technology has advanced quite a bit since the Atom LT came into existence, and that being having this more of synthetic breathable insulation all over like you see in the Nano Air. So because of that, the Nano Air is a lot more breathable. Another pro for the Nano Air is it's a lot more stretchy and more comfortable, I think, than the Atom LT. The Atom LT is going to be a little bit rougher, stiffer, because it's using harder material on the outside, plus it's going to be using a little bit more insulation in the front and back. But because the Nano Air is a lot more stretchy, you're able to do a little bit more activity as you're doing it. So in my experience, the Nano Air was the more comfortable of the jacket. Now let's consider the cons. There are a few cons for the Nano Air. And the first being is the durability of the material on the outside. Because it's so soft and flexible, they use a little bit less denier on the outside, so it's going to be a little bit more abrasion sensitive. So you can get a little bit more tears and pilling with this layer because of that. So something to consider. Now another con about the Nano Air is it is a bit pricey. Now compared to the Atom LT is going to be about $50 cheaper. So something to keep in mind, you are going to be paying more for the Nano Air. Another con about the Nano Air is the hood. Now the hood is specifically supposed to be a under the helmet hood, but if you're just wearing this in public, it kind of looks a little weird. I'm not going to lie, it's not my favorite hood. The Atom LT is going to be a better hood because it's more of an everyday kind of hood that looks traditional. Another con about the Nano Air is it is super breathable. Now, what do I mean by that? How is that a con? Well, if you are looking at using this as a standalone jacket, because this is less denier on the outside, wind can just go right through. Where with the Atom LT actually is a little bit more insulation and less wind and more wind resistant in the front and back because it only lets air out through the side panels. So who won the jacket battle for you? Was it the Arcteryx Atom LT or was it the Patagonia Nano Air? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on which one you would pick and why. If you like what you saw, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe for more jacket battle content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.